In my opinion, it's exactly how Riccardo Soli says, like Woodman likes to work with pimps. Real babes act like pimps, they withhold information from the models, and they send girls into harm's way with Woodman. And that's how he likes it. And let's look at another one of the pimps that Woodman uses, because this one's incredible. So since I started this story, a lot of people have been contacting me and tipping me off with information that could be useful. One of the things people said is they said I should watch out for a guy called Dennis Black Magic. They said that he brought a girl to Woodman to work called Zillion. She's from Belgium. And they said that she'll be given a good time and used as a reference in order to get more girls into porn via Woodman. And I didn't think anything of it, but then I caught Woodman using him. But let me tell you a little bit about Dennis and why I think that's a problem, because obviously recruiting girls for porn is not a crime, but this guy is something else. So Dennis Black Magic is Belgian, and he's a convicted child rapist. In 2008, he was convicted of indecent assault against a 15-year-old girl. In 2011, he was convicted of 4 years in prison for raping another 15-year-old girl. In 2017, he was convicted for inciting the sexual abuse of minors. I don't know how old they were. But before I show you his picture, I want you to just imagine what a person that rapes children looks like. Like, just imagine it. And this is it. Like, I mean, why do nonces always look like nonces? It's like there's a uniform or something. Like, they're really easy to spot. I don't know how they get away with their crimes. So, yeah, I caught Woodman using Dennis to recruit models. And he was proud of it. He was sharing it on his Twitter post. Like, Woodman has shadier friends than Prince Andrew. Why would anyone hang out with a child rapist? Why would anyone do business with a child rapist? Why would anyone call this person their friend? And it's not like it was a one-off or anything like that. It's a persistent pattern of abusing children. So I saw on Woodman's Twitter feed that he was working with a new girl called Luna Wolf. And he took a photo of her at the airport, and he was very proud in showing off this new girl he's going to work with. I clicked on her profile just to see who it was. She's a girl that's working for Dennis Black Magic. So he's her agent. She's working for him. She has his brand name in her Twitter bio. And I was so alarmed that I actually raised this with Woodman, and I urged him to cancel the shoot. And the reason I said that is because if your agent is a rapist and you're recruiting a model through a convicted rapist, how do you know the girl's safe? How do you know she's not been coerced? How do you know she's not been trafficked? In my opinion, the risk is too high, and there's no possible way you can work with someone like that. And that's not the girl's fault. Everything might be above board, but as a producer, cannot take the risk that a girl might be sex trafficked. And this is so blatantly a bad situation. Someone that's convicted of rape should not be around porn models. There's a lot of vulnerable people working in the porn industry, and we have to at least take that basic step to protect people. It's absolutely disgusting that Dennis would be allowed anywhere near the porn industry, given his history. And the crazy thing is, the only people that seem to work with this Dennis is Pierre Woodman, Rocco Siffredi, and Brill Babes. Now, at first, Woodman denied knowing anything about Dennis's history. So he said he didn't know he was convicted of rape. And that sounds pretty unbelievable because he's been to prison several times, and he said he'd been friends with him for 20 years. So you'd think you'd be like, oh, where's my friend? I wonder where he is. And it's not like the porn industry is big. Everybody talks. Everybody knows when something goes down. So it's very bizarre to me. Woodman tells me that he's never given any money to Dennis or anything like that, and he doesn't recruit models for him. But on Woodman's forum, and this message is in French, so I've had to use Google Translate, he says that Zillion was sent to him by Dennis and Helena. And also Luna Bunny, obviously, on her Twitter, she's clearly part of that agency. And also by text message, Woodman told me, Luna Bunny, she registered with Dennis in Belgium. So he confirmed that she's working with him as an agent. And she'll register with Brill Babes next week when I bring her there. She's 27 years old and able to know what she wants or not in her life. So, that's Woodman's attitude. He has no concern for her safety or well-being. And as well as that, he's compounding the problem by taking her to sign for another super shady agency. Like, there are more reputable agencies, like Nikki's models in Prague have an excellent reputation. Why not sign with them? And why take her to Bill Babes? Why not say, talk to Bill Babes, maybe you'll like them. But no, he takes them there to sign. Super shady, and it's always the same names coming up over and over again. Dennis Blackmagic, Rocco Siffredi, Pierre Woodman, Bill Babes. I don't know the exact financial relationship between all of these people, but these guys are all working together and not in the model's best interests. And I personally feel that what's happening is so unsafe and so concerning. If a rapist lived on your street, you wouldn't feel safe with women in your life just walking past their house. But in porn, these people have welcomed him in, and they're working with him, and they're paying him probably, and recruiting models through him. So they're applying standards in porn that they just would not apply in any other aspect of their life. Is it sex trafficking? Is it legal? I don't know. I don't know the laws in Belgium. It's high risk, but I don't know if it's legal or not. Maybe it is legal, but it shouldn't be done. And I'm surprised anyone lets this happen. And a crazy thing is I contacted Dennis Blackmagic. Woodman actually gave me his number, and it was the most insane phone call I've ever had in my life. So this is a clip with Dennis Blackmagic. I spoke to him and he started threatening to kill me. So at some point I had to quickly press record on my second phone, and I've cleaned up the audio as best I can, but it's not the best quality, but I think you can hear how this conversation goes. It's nuts. Obviously, I'd rather you didn't kill me, but I am doing this story on Woodman and you are part of it. So I just need to be really clear on the details, because what you said just doesn't match with the information that's out there on you. There's obviously 4 incidents. There's the indecent assault one on a 15-year-old. There's...
Yeah, like always, look, the point is like this. I know a lot of shit about a lot of powerful people. They always put me in jail for stuff that I didn't do. So now I made a deal with all those powerful people, and I'm not in jail anymore. So that was the only way to get me in jail, because they were afraid that things coming out. Because I don't know if you understand that the most powerful and rich people who are claiming to fight for that are the worst people.
Why would they be your enemies if you're just producing porn?
Because I know a lot of shit from famous people who are fucking with little kids.
Really?
And then I fight with them. Yes, really, because the most politicians and most people like you who are fighting with them are the guys who are fucking the little girls. I told you, I'm a fucking gangster. I'm not a pedophile.
Okay, but
I'm a man of honor.
But how would they get you into prison?
And cry in a corner. That's the difference. I was doing business with Ben Dorville already 25 years ago.
Okay, but why would so many young girls have allegations against you? And obviously in a trial there has to be evidence. Look, I'm not trying to upset you really. I just wanted to understand your version.
I'm not upset. If you get me upset, you will not be able to speak, believe me.
Yeah, I know you said I can't come to Belgium, but it's
No, I can also send somebody to Budapest, so don't worry about that. So what's the point now? The point is they fucked me sometimes to put me in jail like they did with so many people, like with Berlusconi.
So it's really insane. He has kind of delusions of grandeur. I checked Dennis Blackmagic and he only has 16 porn video credits to his name. He seems to be on the fringes of the industry, but has made a bit of a name for himself as a reality TV star in Belgium. And if you just listen to that, this is a man that's raped children, and he's claiming that he was set up, he was framed, and the only reason he did go to jail is because politicians who he knows have sex with children are out to get him. And the world just doesn't work like that. Maybe in Fantasyland, possibly, but it's so unrealistic, it's so wild, it's so hard to get a conviction for rape. And he has one, and he has other charges against him. He's been to prison 3 times for offences against children. It's not like this is an isolated incident. And it's very uncomfortable hearing him try to justify this. I guess maybe he has to tell himself this to live with himself. I don't know. And obviously, he's very aggressive. He claims he's a gangster. He seems very open about calling himself a gangster. Should someone like that be working in porn? I don't think so.
It's about minors, otherwise he cannot put me in jail. No one made a deal with the big famous politics and poor people, and now I'm free. So what's the big difference?
Okay, just because
to do it too.
And here he's saying he got out of prison because he made a deal with powerful politicians. Obviously, if that's true, it's quite a revelation. So I'm sure his parole officer would be interested in hearing that, but most likely I think it's just bullshit. The man seems like a fantasist to me. You're a convicted rapist, and obviously you've said something different, so I have to give your version. I have to tell people your version.
No, I don't want the people to get my version because of an asshole like you. I'm a hero in Belgium, I can do the fuck what I want in Belgium, so I'm happy. And all the world of the real famous porn industry is supporting me. So
I don't think you can do what you want if you've been sent to prison before. Obviously there are rules.
The last time that I went to prison was a girl that I made famous, and because I said no to her for a relationship, she said that I raped her. So that's how it goes in Belgium. And then I made a deal with the big famous politics because I'm getting tired of it. And now the girl is getting sued because she made a false statement. Because one of the boys who made a statement to help her to get me in jail was saying that I was searching online for minors. Guess what? The guy is now in jail, convicted for 3 minors fucking and pimping them.
So again, it's just this massive deflection. It's he's been convicted 3 times of sexual offences against children, and he acts like he's the victim. It blows my mind, it really does. Poor him. If only people would stop making false allegations against him. It doesn't happen to me. Does it happen to you? I'm sure it's not normal for children to accuse you of touching them or rape. That's really interesting.
No, that's not interesting. That's life. You need to shut the fuck up against me because I don't want to speak with guys like you.
Hey, I'm doing a story about Pierre Woodman, not about you, but obviously you're involved in it.
I'm not involved. With who? How am I involved? Tell me that. I'm not the casting director.
Well, you...
I'm not the producer. I'm not the director. I sold my company. I'm just a famous guy who has a movie on his head.
No, Pierre told me that you're recruiting models. No, he said it. He said, well, if they come to you, that's the same thing.
Fuck up and you listen to me.
Okay.
Models come to Belgium, to me, because I have the biggest name, and they say, can you bring me to Pierre? Of course. So the CEO of my company called to Pierre, and the girls go to Pierre. That's it. I'm not recruiting. I'm not casting. I'm not doing the shit.
I think clearly maybe he's not allowed to be working in this industry, or he's doing some bad things, because he's really trying to convince me that he's not recruiting models. But the models are using his name in their Twitter bio, indicating they work for him. Woodman says they're signing for him and they're signing for Real Babes. All the evidence points to he's running them as an agent. So I don't know why he's denying it unless he's doing something bad. I think he's got some things to hide here. Do you think it's ethical for a convicted rapist to be recruiting girls in the porn industry?
Hey, motherfucker, the rapist, do you know who you're dealing with? You're a sick fuck, do you know that? Get me, put me on video so that I can see your fucking face. Now!
Okay.
Do it, fucking asshole! So, do I look like a rapist? You look like a fucking pedophile. Look at your face, look at mine. I'm a gangster, alright? And do you know what I do with people like you, motherfucker?
No.
What I do with people like you, okay?
Okay, you're showing me a gun. Okay.
Okay! Am I clear to you?
You're pretty clear.
I find you there in 24 hours. Convicted rapist my ass. I shoot you in the fucking face.
Okay.
Am I clear to you?
I think you're making sense.
Do I look like a rapist or do I look like a gangster with your fucking pedophile ass?
I think 2 things can be true at the same time.
What do you say?
I said 2 things can be true at the same time.
That's what everybody says now.
You're convicted of rape.
I was convicted by the judge, not that because It was a setup, you motherfucker.
Well, that's what convicted means. That's what convicted means.
A lot of girls, and I can put you in jail for the same thing. You want to try this shit?
Yeah, but I mean, that obviously the conviction is still there. So it's just a statement of fact. Yeah, it's just a statement of fact. So
Sick in your head. You need help. Believe me, you need fucking help. And I'm gonna help you one day. Trust me.
okay,
Fuck with me.
all right. Well,
Fuck with me.
well, thank you for your help.
Look in my eyes. Don't fuck with me.
I can see your eyes.
Then you don't fuck with me. Okay?
Okay,
Delete my fucking number because I'm gonna tell you one thing. Don't fuck with me.
okay,
I put a fucking bullet in your face. Even when I'm here, okay?
okay,
And believe me, I can do that.
okay.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you. This is not how innocent people behave. Like, innocent people don't threaten to kill you just because you said, oh, you're recruiting models for Pierre Woodman, especially when it's obvious that you are. An innocent person would say, yes, I am. That's my job. That's what I do. And there's no problems. There's nothing to hide. You don't threaten to kill the person that's reporting it. The whole thing is just absolutely insane. There was a lot more, but I didn't get to record everything. An interesting thing he said was that he claims that he was set up, and he also, in that call, said he can get, me sent to jail for the same thing. And shortly after that call, I was then blackmailed by Zillion. So she started messaging me, and if you look at this text message from her, you can see that first she says that a bullet is the best medicine for people like me. Zillion and Dennis were trying to get me to stop reporting this story. Like, that was their goal. So they're trying to intimidate me into doing that. And you can see here she says, I report you for stalking if you don't stop. Clear? Publicly, I do it also. But, and then she kept on and on and on. Obviously, an empty threat. If you haven't done anything wrong, it's very hard to convict someone of a sex crime. It's hard to convict someone of a sex crime when they have done something wrong. So keep that in mind. And this guy's been convicted 3 times. And it blows my mind that these people all work together. It blows my mind that Woodman thinks that this is a safe person to have around women. It's a safe person to be recruiting girls from. It's wild. And Woodman behaves very strangely. So on his forum, he tried to justify Dennis's rape of children. But here he says, yes, my friend Dennis got some troubles with justice in Belgium, but it's related to things I will not consider as paedophilia, because as far as I know, the story was a girl who's nearly an adult. And for instance, in France, he would never go to jail for this. But the mother will have got more troubles in France than in Belgium. Also, it's an old story I just discovered recently, and I know Dennis' new version as a good father and wife and children. So for me, he deserves friendship, because we don't always know the background of all the people we meet and become friends with. Obviously, if he'd fucked a 5-year-old child, I will never speak to him. So, he doesn't care that he raped this girl. That's not an issue. The fact he's raped the girl doesn't factor into it for him. So, for some reason, Woodman thinks that rape is acceptable behavior. Doesn't surprise me. And the second point is, she's still a child. She goes to school. A grown man cannot fuck school children. And I'm pretty sure in France, you would also go to prison for that. The fact she's nearly an adult means she's still a child. Okay, the age of consent is different in different countries, but clearly in Belgium, he knew the law, he broke the law, he went to prison, and Woodman defends him. Just like Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. I just don't know how anyone can justify having a business relationship or a personal relationship with this man. And the telling thing is how they all try to keep distancing themselves from it. So Dennis claims that, he's not making money from this. It's just helping girls from the goodness of his heart. Girls come to him and they want to work for Woodman, and he just helps them along the way. Absolute bullshit. It's so difficult to find models to do porn. You have to search for them, find them, have lots of long conversations. Very few people are coming to production companies, coming to agents and saying, hey, I'm interested in doing porn. You have to go out and recruit them. And the way you recruit them is very important. Clearly, Dennis is recruiting girls. Someone who calls himself a gangster is a convicted rapist, convicted child rapist, I mean, and showed me a gun and threatened me. How can Woodman know for sure that the girls that he's recruiting with Dennis are safe, that they're not being coerced, that they're not being trafficked, that they're not being forced into this? Even if everything's fine, it would be so concerning to me and so risky that I would never work with somebody like that. And I don't think anyone else in the porn industry would either. When I alerted people on Twitter, everybody that had scenes booked cancelled them. The only people who worked with these girls is Rocco and Woodman. And I think that says a lot.